All right, let's talk about something that makes pretty much every renter's heart skip a beat, the rent hike. You know, that one little message that lands in your inbox and suddenly your whole budget feels like it's on shaky ground. But what if you could flip the script on that whole conversation? What if you could turn that stress into a strategy? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
You know that feeling, right? You see the notification from your landlord and your stomach just drops. It's this universal moment of dread for renters everywhere, that sudden, creeping worry about whether you can still afford the place you call home.
But here's the thing. What if you didn't have to just take it? Or start that whole exhausting hunt for a new apartment all over again? What if you had the confidence, and more importantly, the right tools to actually push back? That's the real game changer we're diving into.
And look, this isn't just a small worry. For a lot of people, especially students and young pros in booming Indian cities, it's a huge deal. It forces you into this relentless cycle of stress. You find a place, you finally get settled, and then boom, a rent hike sends you packing all over again. It's exhausting.
Now, to be fair, it's not always the landlord's just trying to squeeze you for more money. There are totally legitimate reasons why rents go up. You know, maintenance costs are rising, property values in the whole city are increasing, and landlords have to adjust to what the market rate is. It's just part of how cities work.
And this really gets to the heart of the issue. The real problem isn't even the price increase itself. It's the not knowing. It's the mystery. When you have no idea what other similar places are going for, you're just left guessing. Is this a fair price? Am I being taken for a ride? It's that lack of transparency that makes you feel totally powerless.
But, and this is a big but, things are changing. The old way of just being in the dark and hoping for the best, that's on its way out. Because now, with new digital tools and way more access to data, the power is actually starting to shift back to you, the renter.
Just look at this. It's like night and day, right? On one side, you've got the old way, all fear, anxiety, and just hoping for the best. And on the other, the modern way. We're talking data, confidence, and smart negotiation. You're not just quietly accepting it anymore. You're taking control.
So let this sink in. This should be your new go-to thought. The next time you get that notice, the first reaction isn't panic, it's preparation. Your new mantra is, we negotiate. Okay, so that all sounds great, right? But how do you actually do it? Well, that's where we're getting into right now. Consider this next part your smart renting toolkit. We're going to give you the exact steps and resources you need to take control. First things first, you need a benchmark. Like, what's even a normal rent increase? Well, in most major Indian markets, you're looking at somewhere between 5 to 10% a year. That usually covers things like inflation and property upkeep. This number is your starting point. It's the first bit of data you can use to figure out if what your landlord is asking for is reasonable or way out of line.
All right, here's your step-by-step playbook. 1. Always get the notice in writing. It makes everything official. 2. Do your homework. Jump on rental platforms and see what similar apartments in your neighborhood are actually going for. 3. Once you have that data, you can prepare a smart, reasonable counteroffer. 4. And this is super important, talk to your landlord calmly. And 5. Know what your other options are. Be ready to look at other places if you two just can't agree.
And you know what your secret weapon is in all of this? Technology. It's a total game changer. These new rental platforms aren't just for browsing listings. They're a whole toolkit. We're talking AI tools that crunch the market data for you, features that let you negotiate online, and ways to connect directly with owners. Plus, many of them flag RERA-approved properties, which gives you an extra layer of security. The guesswork is officially gone. Now, when it's time to actually talk to your landlord, keep these things in mind. The big do is to stay cool, calm, and collected. Back up everything you say with the research you did. And hey, don't forget to mention what a great tenant you are. You pay on time, you keep the place clean. That's a huge plus for them. The big don't let emotions take over, and don't make threats you're not ready to follow through on.
So when you zoom out, what does all this mean for the future of renting? Well, we're seeing a massive shift. The entire rental world is moving away from a place of confusion and stress and into a space that's way more transparent, fair, and gives you, the renter, a whole lot more control. And it's all being driven by smarter tech.
For so long, all the power, all the information was on one side of the scale. It was held by landlords and brokers. But now, that scale is tipping. Because now all of that critical market knowledge is accessible to you, right in the palm of your hand.
And what that means for you is a huge move from feeling like things are just happening to you to feeling like you're actually in the driver's seat. With the right information, you are now able to actively manage your living situation instead of just reacting to it.
And I want to be super clear about this. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky idea for the future. It's here, right now. These tools, this data, this shift in power, it has already happened. Smart renting has arrived.
So I'll leave you with this question. The next time that email or that message pops up, imagine feeling ready instead of feeling panicked. You've got the plan, you've got the tools, and you've got the data. The only question is, are you ready to use it?